excited, and I was showing all the kids, and once again it was to the The other kids were good little herd animals, but you know, I couldn't do it.
What happened?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand.
Where did you try?
How did we end up here?
Doesn't seem like you.
Yeah, so out of character.
I was so desperately just trying to reach out and connect to other kids who were listening to music.
What's this sweet? Like, I feel like this is a Pixar movie.
The saga continues.
Yeah.
This is Toy Story Part 4.
So this is pretty straightforward. I just want to talk very, very briefly about the rest of this week and what we got to accomplish.
Yeah. Today, 50-minute down clock. If you guys wrap in and around that area, then I'll give you guys just a hot second break just to marinate on what you would want to talk about in the outro.
Yeah.
And we'll record that outro.
Okay.
Then we'll record the intro. That'll wrap 90% of
This episode.
Tomorrow, we'll come back in at 10 a.m. We'll record 4 ads, 2 that go into what we're recording today, 2 that go into the Brett Bartholomew, plus a redesigned Sherpa because there's some open inventory, so we'll put that in there. So we'll do all of that tomorrow, plus the intro and outro to the Brett Bartholomew. What that does is it puts you basically 2 weeks ahead.
Yeah, and then we're good for the rest of the week.
And we're good for the rest of the week in terms of absolutely needing to record things. So what's left for June, essentially after Tuesday, what's left for June, besides trying to get new testimonials in, is recording the Q&A episode, scheduling it, recording the ads, and the intro and outro for it.
Toolbox we need to guard a little bit more so that we're giving it our best in here.
Okay.
And it's been a little crazy with the program schedule. Now, that said, program schedule gets a little bit lighter, so we will have a lot more white space to record, but I also want to try to set the start of the week to be the housekeeping stuff.
Like ads,
exactly, and later in the week, the interviews, etc.
Okay, cool.
Because typically, coming out of the weekend, my Mondays are insane.
Roll without headphones.
Yeah, I thought I was having a good hair day, so.
Johnny, yours looks pretty good too, man.
Flattery to get you everywhere with me, Cam.
He knows. He's been here long enough.
Next, you'll be telling me my voice is silky smooth today.
So my Lyft driver, after dinner, was a podcast fan. So he picks me up from the house from dinner, and he's like, "Hey, is this your house?" I was like, "No, it's actually our office." He's like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a coach, I have a podcast." He's like, "Oh, I listen to a lot of podcasts. What podcast?" I was like, "The Art of Charm." And he stops the car. And he goes, "AJ?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Holy shit, you were like one of the first podcasts I discovered 7 years ago. I've been listening off and on." He's like, "I like the new themes you guys have monthly."
Right.
So I was like, "What's your favorite?" He's like, "Oh, I really love the habit building one." So we started talking about that. He moved from Colombia up here. He's trying to get his acting career started. And he's like, "I've really enjoyed listening to your show. It's helped me with my English, and it's helped me with some mindset stuff." We're about to go live in our private alumni group on Facebook, The Family. As you can see, Johnny is a tech wizard,
Yes.
hard at work.
I'm also known for my Funkmaster beats on the keyboard. When you come to program here, you see AJ and myself in mostly a coaching role where we have the program to run. We have from 5 to 10 guys, and then that program needs to run seamless, and there's a lot of working pieces to it. And during the program, our regular lives here in Hollywood, in LA, do not stop while there's a program going on. And so because of that, it's sometimes it can be difficult to actually hang out and bro out with you guys when we have so many people, such little time, and a schedule to keep. And we need for you to move through this in certain phases. when we have the masterminds, it's an opportunity for us
we
to drop
step
that hat.
outside of LA as well.
Yeah,
And we
we're
really
not home.
Allow essentially an opportunity to bond with you guys. And we had a great group in Tulum. We're looking to assemble a great group in Vienna. So if you're in Europe, you've thought about coming back through a program, you want to jumpstart your social life, you want to work on some of these concepts in boot camp, we'll be out in Vienna both for a mastermind and a boot camp the following week. I had a couple other alumni reach out to me asking what are the details on the Vienna boot camp. We're going to link that up as well. It's Vienna Mastermind, no spaces, no dashes for the mastermind information. That's alumni only. The boot camp, however, if you want to come back through with a friend in Europe, we have that set up, theartofcharm.com/Vienna, so you can learn what's going on late summer here when Johnny and I take over Europe.
Now, people always ask us how to have more engaging conversations, and the concept that I think is most important in having these amazing conversations is this idea of conversational hooks. We talked about this yesterday, this idea that conversational hooks are opportunities for us to add to the conversation. And if you think about a professional fisherman, well, what does he do? He throws a ton of hooks in the water.
Tons.
He doesn't have one line in the water waiting for fish to come by. He's spreading out those hooks to catch more fish.
I think that's where conversation falls flat, because if you're not throwing a lot of hooks out, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, to use another metaphor.
Absolutely. And with these hooks, what we want to do is layer them into our responses so that we're sharing more. It doesn't have to be crazy vulnerability, but we want to be sharing more within the start of that conversation to make it engaging. And we also want to be listening for other people's emotional hooks. And this is a concept we've covered here on the show, emotional bids.
Well, for anyone who wants to get better in anything, the first place that they have to look first is themselves. And every time that I hear that my conversations fall flat or I'm not able to get out of small talk, to me it's always like, well then, what are you doing wrong? Right? You need to be able to do the work to leave these hooks in it. And I think that's why a lot of people, they like to point the finger. Well, I'm just not going to places where I'm meeting very interesting people, or it just seems that people are not interested in talking to me. Well, what are you doing that are going to allow people to enjoy talking to you?
And when we start paying better attention in conversation, we're going to start hearing other people's conversational hooks and their emotional bids, their attempts at connection. Now, these are both verbal and nonverbal. So you can imagine prolonged eye contact, touching you, having great energy, and adding that smile to the conversation are all emotional bids. The other person's trying to connect with you. And a lot of times when we're focused on ourselves, we're focused on our own body language, we're not reading these signals, the conversation can fall flat.
Sure, I think one of my favorite things in conversation now, that where I'm at in learning these tools, using these skills, having fun with them, is always looking at conversations for the things that the people I'm speaking with are not saying. To me, that's where all the gold is in conversation nowadays. But in order to get there, we need to be able to recognize emotional bids. We need to be able to lay out hooks for other people. And so we want to start with those things first.
And I think that's why most of us struggle in conversation. We're not reading the signals being put out, and we're also not adding hooks into the water.
Regardless of how confident you might be, there is a tension and pressure that is going on between those two people that has to come down in order for each party to focus on the hour.
A scene, like this doesn't have to be some elaborate, huge, like whatever, it's just like maybe we're roommates and we're hanging out at home, right? So we kind of, we'll start a scene just to be chatting, and then at any point, I feel like it, I'm gonna pull out one of these pieces of paper, and then open the piece of paper, and the most important part of this exercise is that you read the paper out loud as you are reading it for the first time. Oh, is it gonna bother you if I'm eating while you're sweeping up? I'll try to be really...
Oh, yeah, no, it's totally fine. I felt like I made the mess, so I should clean it up, you know.
That's like the first time you've done that as your roommate. I feel like I'm usually like picking up after you, but I really love this like initiative you're taking.
Well, I just feel like I woke up this morning and I was like, let's live life differently. Let's just take responsibility for everything. Even if I didn't do it.
Whoa,
Yeah.
I like this new leaf that you're turning over. You know what I want to say about that?
How you do?
Houston is hot in the summer. You know?
No shit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm dripping right now of sweat.
I know, and so it's like the keeping the house clean is harder because it's like it's just so hot. Nobody wants to. You just want to jump in a pool. You don't want to be cleaning.
I know. I probably also shouldn't have opened the windows. I should have left the AC on. But I was like, you know what? Natural state.
And ammonia, like that smell. Like let's see.
Exactly. The Cayman Islands have beautiful beaches.
Oh my gosh! Why are we here in Houston where it's so hot?
Well, we're not gonna be because I got us 2 tickets for this weekend.
What?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I've been cleaning up because we're gonna be gone, and who wants to come back to a dirty place?
This is amazing. My God, like the first thing that comes to my mind is just like the unicorns are quite lovely. Yeah, in the Cayman Islands, they do that thing where they attach the horn to their head and we just like go, we can horse a unicorn back ride.
Yes. Oh my God, this is why we're friends. You so get me. Okay.
That's really nice.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna save this for when we're on the plane, but I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
Blue looks so good on you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Summer. I got you.
Yeah.
He's got you. So he's gonna film everything that Ege is doing.
Oh my God.
So you don't want reaction shots. You don't want to be like, oh, Ege's taking my laundry.
Like,
Ege just cleaned my apartment.
My pod.
No, you clean your own pod. You clean your own pod.
That's fair, that's fair.
That's all limits.
Oh.
Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't know the pod situation.
Oh, okay. It's better if you don't.
So it's a coffin.
Well,
but for people who are alive,
hey,
creative.
Slightly more room than a coffin. Slightly more.
Oh, have you been to his like pod?
No. Why would I go to his pod? I don't know. No, I've not been to his pod.
Be afraid to us means choose the new path. Choose the path that's less traveled. Choose fluidity over rigidity. Try to do things in a different manner if we want different results.
We're going to get some tattoos. We're going to go for A. It's time.
Right,
it's happening.
Time.
First women. Yes.
First women alumni. That's crazy.
And I mean, I feel like I've put in 7 years. I got to just go for it, right? It's time.
I put in a week. So
yeah.
Actually a weekend.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's definitely time for me.
I can put it on me. Swinging from the chandeliers, I won't be sorry. I got a feeling I'm gonna crash into this party. I'm just an accident waiting to happen like.
Finished up the Art of Charm Bootcamp, and I think it's a pretty amazing program if anyone's looking for a way to sort of move to the next step, whether it's career-wise or relationships or just, you know what, getting more out of life. This is a really great way to challenge yourself. I was so excited to get here. I didn't really know what to expect, but I was willing to like just jump in and go with it. And I'm so grateful that I did because I got so much more than I anticipated out of it. It's really a wonderful program. The other thing that I noticed about the program is people have different ways of learning, whether it's like visual or reading and writing or sensory or acting things out. Everything's pretty much repeated in different modalities, so however you learn, you will get it. It's pretty fantastic.
We'll be right back.